So if you're a K-pop idol and you're on stage and you're going to be under tons of bright lighting, of course this is super important. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Personal Beauty. I'm your host, as always, Shannon. Today we're going to be talking about a really fun topic that I think a lot of you are going to love. We're actually going to be talking about how to do K-pop makeup. So for those of you guys that are following this channel, I'm sure you guys love Korea, you also love Korean culture, and you've probably heard a little bit about K-pop. K-pop is more than just a unique style of music and dancing and rapping and artistry. It's also a very unique style as far as makeup and hair. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that today. I'll be giving you guys a couple different tips and tricks along the way to kind of enhance or change up your makeup style in a more K-pop way. If you guys have been watching the previous episodes, you've probably learned that base skincare is going to be kind of the foundation for makeup. So I did want to share with you guys one particular product here. This is actually a spray cream. This would be a nice substitute for something to cool off the skin, to also tighten up the pores and act as a really nice moisturizing base. This is super important, you guys. So if you're a K-pop idol and you're on stage and you're going to be under tons of bright lighting, of course this is super important. So definitely make sure that you guys have a really nicely cream sort of dewy base underneath. This will help your makeup stick, but it'll also help it to look a little bit more skin-like and natural as well. So once we get a nice foundation going, typically what I would do that I'm sure is a little bit different is actually apply a primer. So we don't have an example of a primer today, but you guys have seen in previous episodes where I brought my favorite one. This is a green one that helps to color correct. If you guys don't have anything like that, the first thing you're going to move on to is a concealer. This should be no surprise to all of you guys. Concealers are exactly what they say they are. They're going to help you to conceal certain areas. We're going to figure out a way to do this today that helps to shape the face. This is also known as reverse contouring. So one thing I really liked about using my fingers with concealer is it does help to blend really gently, kind of skin-like. So we're just going to lightly sort of tap that in. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's just a couple little dots on my face. So we're just going to start like this, kind of trying to dial down some of the redness and help to even out my skin tone and texture. Concealer is a great way to do that. And concealer, you guys, is definitely very buildable, so you guys can absolutely work with this as you need to. Try to find concealer types that are really good match with your skin. I think I mentioned this last week as well. Concealer color is really important. You don't want the concealer to be a perfect match with your skin tone. You can see that mine is a little bit lighter. And that's actually intentional. What we want to do is use the lighter tones to help highlight. So this is going to be areas that you're going to want to highlight the most. This is why you would not put concealer down on the chin, for example, unless you want to really bring out that bone structure. We're going to use it in the center of my face to try and minimize any sort of shadows there. This will help to keep everything in the center. Okay, so we're just going to... So this one I actually introduced to you guys last week on last week's episode. I immediately put this in my purse after the episode ended, and we're going to be using it again today. For this one, like I said, just to kind of show you, because I don't know if you guys can see that, typically I would recommend using a liquid liner for this, but this particular product that I introduced to you guys is waterproof. We are going to be using this today. I'm actually going to take a smaller mirror for this one so I can be a little bit more precise. So now when we're talking about eyeliner for K-pop idols, this is not going to be like the Amy Winehouse thick eyeliner. We want to go with something a little bit more discreet, but one thing we do want to highlight is the size of our eyes. So the way to do that, because when you're using a black or a dark brown sort of color, typically it's going to minimize the appearance of things. This is going to make it look a little bit smaller. So what we're going to do, we're going to take just a little bit, I'm going to roll it out. Okay, just a little bit, and I do have mascara on, so I'm going to try to dodge my eyelashes. We're going to put it on the outer corner of the eye. The reason for this is so that it widens the center portion of the face, and it brings a little bit more attention to the... I can't think and talk and do at the same time. And brings a little bit more attention to the lash line, which we will do in a little bit as well. So right there. Just a little bit. Okay, I'm also going to go ahead and line the waterline as well. Let's just see. This is so interesting. I don't think I've ever actually done my makeup on camera before. I'm going to bring it out just a little bit to give it a little bit of drama and create a little bit of a wing here. Next up, what I do want to do is actually talk about the Aegyosal. This is one of the most prominent sort of points about Korean K-pop makeup. This is where you're exaggerating that little fat pad underneath the eyes. So you have to be really careful with this because it's very easy to go overboard and to make it look like a whole different line underneath your eye, which we don't want to do. But what we do want to do is sort of open it up a little bit and then kind of exaggerate that childlike appearance as well. So I'm gonna go in for this. Admittedly, guys, I don't do this often, but it is important to use sort of like muted shades for this. You don't want it to look obviously like a line. So we don't want to use something like this that's really dark. You don't want to make one straight line. You kind of have to make it a shadow. But this one, you have to trust your body's natural sort of line here. So we are just going to follow sort of my natural line. So we're just going to right like this. We don't want it to be too dark, so I will blend this out. Okay, so we're going to go like this. I will blend it, don't worry. Okay, I'm also going to take a little bit and put under my lash line here. So one thing I want to add actually to this to make it look a little bit more dramatic rather than like I got dark under eye circles and didn't sleep, I'm actually going to add a little bit of glitter. This will help. So let's just extend that eye line on both sides. Okay, we want to clean that up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now that we did that, another thing that we're going to be using is one of these Korean palettes. So I'll show you guys that here. This one has a little glitter shade that I'm kind of obsessed with right here in the middle. I'll go ahead and swatch that for you guys. So let's just take a look here. Oh, that is phenomenal. Look at that. It looks like moon dust. That is fantastic. So we definitely are going to use that. I'm just going to go ahead and use my... Do I have another brush? I don't think so. We're going to use my pinky. I'm just going to trust the process. I'm just going to trust myself on this one. Okay, so I have a little bit of glitter here. I want to take just a smidge and put it right underneath that eye area. Oh yeah, that's giving K-pop. You want to use just a little bit. Okay, use a brush for this, guys. Don't use your fingers. But if we had to, it would bring just a little bit of light underneath the eye here. So we're just going to do a little bit of a contrast on the inner corner here, but we don't want to make it too harsh because we're trying to, again, exaggerate natural features. We want it to look light enough where it looks somewhat not overdone, but we do, of course, want it to look good on stage. So I'm going to try to highlight this sort of area here. There's a bit of a shadow underneath my brow bone. Okay, so we're just going to go like this. And you can see I'm going in little circular motions like this, not side to side. You don't want to drag it in a harsh line. Harsh lines are your worst enemy when it comes to makeup. Okay, so just a light little crease. Right, okay, so you can see right away that this sort of opens up this area and makes my eye look a little bit more open. We're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. So center towards the outside. I'll show you guys what we're gonna do on the inner corner in just a second here. Now with the glitter type shades, you actually don't want to go in a circle because it will get in your eye. Try to focus more on like patting and smearing just a touch. I think I need a little bit more on this side. What do you think? Does it look even? So lip tint, you guys, this is what is going to be used to help keep that long-lasting lip color. A lot of times K-pop idols will follow this up with some sort of like gloss to give them that very sort of wet look on stage. But underneath, you can almost always guarantee it's going to be a tint rather than like a cream type of lips liquid. One thing that idols do, they focus on the center points of the lips here, and sometimes they'll even bring it a little bit up. So I'm just going to start right here. Okay. Okay, so right away, it's not quite as pigmented as like a traditional cream would be, but that's good. That's what we want. Okay. If you look closely, also, I'm lining the inside of the lip rather than the outside. The purpose of this is not to overline the lips. We're not trying to make our lips look super full. We want them to look really supple and dewy. So we actually want to highlight the inner portion right here. Okay. And then just gently kind of mash together. Yep, and there you go. All done. So this is a very quick and easy way to just use certain little tips to try to change your makeup style The purpose of this is to make your eyes look a little bit bigger, to make your face look a little bit fresher, to add a little bit of pop to your makeup look from K-pop inspired makeup tips. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. For me, it went by super fast, but I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Simba, I hope you enjoyed it as well. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for always supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting me. And we will see you next week for another episode at 6 p.m. Bye guys, I love you. Mwah.